up the last bit.
Oh my God.
It is May 20th, 2019. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast.
Where my choo-choo?
Whoop, whoop! Oh, God. Good God. Good God. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? We got Dan here. That is...
Where did my choo-choo go? For real? Just disappeared?
I know, already thrilling podcast content.
Oh,
it's down at the bottom.
it's underneath my butt.
Yes, we're all in the same room. Can everybody hear us okay? You guys good?
Episode 100.
It's episode 100, guys. We're all in the same room.
We did it.
Thank you.
Who would have believed it?
Oh,
Good God. What do we do? Where's Dan's? Where's Dan's?
just make him go away. Go back.
It's
Go back to
way
being
too
remote.
loud.
I am way loud.
It's
Yeah.
way loud.
I
There we go.
am louder
All
than
right.
Kevin.
Just keep tinkering.
Okay.
We'll get it right.
We got it. Oh, thank you guys
All right,
for
so
tuning
should we
in.
go 1,
Do
2,
the clap test.
3? All right, I think we're good.
Thank you guys for tuning in on this amazing Monday night.
It is.
It is a momentous occasion.
It is.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
I am Tim Herbin.
Cheers,
As always,
guys.
I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley, over in the corner. Then Mr. Dan James is joining us live in person for the first time in a while.
Since Game of Thrones season 3, I think.
Yeah,
Since before the Sazerac ride, which has been quite a while.
yeah. I think that was before we were even covering Atlanta United at this point.
yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell icon, smash that like button.
Smash it.
Should we go ahead and pull up the review?
We should.
I mean,
we should.
with
got a
those-
review?
Yeah, we did. We got a review and a new vote, so that takes us up to 180, right?
No, is it 178? 178.
178.
It's for DeBoer against DeBoer. Who cares? 100 episodes, 5 stars from Brian MUFC says there are many podcasts in the ATL UTD universe. One of them is good, and it is this one. Hit subscribe, smash like, and come join the trap on Mondays. Shout outs to the regulars in the trap. You know who you are. Thanks, Tim, Kevin, and Dan, for making something awesome and for being genuine indivials.
Cheers to you guys. In
Cheers.
the words of
Cheers.
Brian.
Cheers to the
To you
trap.
guys.
Celebration. Thanks for tuning in with us. We got a pretty rowdy crowd in there tonight. I'm going to try not to talk too much tonight because I feel like I'm going to cough a lot if I do.
Yeah, Kevin's
Okay.
got.
Good luck with that, Kevin.
I think that. Yeah, you just muted me. I'm number 2, by the way.
Oh,
You're
okay.
number 1.
Aw.
Yeah, look at me.
Aw.
Look at me.
Number 2 on the podcast, number 1 in our hearts.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Matt Gillis saying, "Don't let this podcast distract you from the fact that Gendry got absolutely robbed in the King vote."
All right, before we go into this, did Brittany S watch it? Because we got a lot of familiar faces in the trap. Is this a spoiler-free podcast? We've got a. I mean, this is a historic podcast for many reasons. The end of an era for Game of Thrones was last night. We don't want to give anything away for anybody.
Okay, yeah.
Nope, I don't care.
Well, damn, Brittany's salty. She's salty. But shout out to Brittany S. She's one of the original homies. She's in the trap every single Monday night, and she has been waiting so long, not episode 100, but for Chris Wondolowski, her boy, to score that record-breaking goal. And just for you, Brittany S., he put 4 in the back of the net.
And with that, Chris Wondolowski put 4 in the back of net, and we're going to put a scarf in your hands. We need to make sure we get your details. Hit us up on Twitter so we can get one over to you. If anyone deserves one,
Yes.
it needs to be you. We were just talking before how we had an extra one. So we need to make sure we get that over to you, Brittany.
All right. Other housekeeping before we get into yesterday, because I feel like there's going to be a long discussion about that. Should we do fantasy rankings real quick?
Yeah, do it.
If you guys are playing fantasy in the Home Before Dark Fantasy League with MLS and the MLS app, which is 100 times better than it was last year at this point, here are your standings in fantasy. I am stalling because my phone is taking a few seconds to get this up. I'm ranked 51 out of 53.
Oh, you're in the league.
Barely.
Yeah.
Do you really
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
count that?
All right, number 1. Actually, let's start at 5.
This podcast really is a fantasy, to answer Joe Johnstone's question. We play fantasy.
Every day.
Every day.
Can't wait to set my lineup.
We have a Real Inter United FC. Patrick. Is that Patrick? Is that PK?
Is that Keenum?
The damn app cuts off the people's names. So it's Patrick, number 5, Real Inter United FC. We got number 4, FC Apogee, last season's winner, Nathan Lyons. And number 3, we have Thought Marker SC, aka Michael German.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
Have you been fucking with me the whole time? Okay. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've pronounced it every way at this point, and he said I've done it wrong. So I don't know. And
I think it's Gurman.
Gurman. Okay. And number 2, we have Don't Var Me, Bro, Matt. And then number 1, Andy Watkins, soccer-specific fantasy team.
Andy Watkins in the trap. Just give up, walk away. There's no reason to even try anymore. He's claiming it. He's claimed his title for season 1 for this year.
Andy, when does the spring season end?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not a very good fantasy football pod, is it?
I like where Kendrick's. I like where his head's at. He said, I feel like Kevin tricked me into a different type of fantasy league. No soccer, just Kevin in a lot of leather.
Well, we all know there was no tricks involved with that. He signed on willingly.
How do you get the gimp suit around your beard?
It's like, those, I don't know if you've ever seen a woman get her hair dyed, get highlights in her hair, and they pull all it's like that. I just pull all the beard strands through. It's like a leather colander on the bottom. Just pull the beard.
That is terrifying.
FC hair spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, looks just like one of those Play-Doh spaghetti makers. Whenever.
Dear God.
Yikes.
Dear God. Do we have anything else to distract us from yesterday yet? Or no? Anything else? Ooh! Shout out to Miles Robinson, the main motherfucker, getting a call up in the provisional roster for the U.S. men's national team for Gold Cup.
Absolutely him. Was it him, Guzan, and there's one more from Atlanta United who got pulled up.
Darlington Nagbe.
That's right.
So what's that going to put us down to, like 7 guys out, 7 starters on international duty?
Atlanta United. I think Atlanta United too is going to be playing in a few games this summer.
Yeah,
maybe Carlton will get a start. Just kidding.
Yeah. I also wanted to bring up one more cool thing. On Saturday night, I think I saw this tweet, and it was from 2 Spikes ATL, the Footy Mob chapter supporting Atlanta United 2. For any of you guys who aren't going to use your voucher for your Atlanta United 2, for your season ticket holders, there are 35,000+ of us, right? Of those people who aren't going to be using your season ticket vouchers, they are doing a really cool thing where they are taking donations of ticket vouchers for the June 15th. It's called Her Night, I think is what it's called, to help bring little girls in to the game.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really freaking cool cause. And
I'm going to do a call to action for our friends over at Unreal ATL for Queens of the South to do a live broadcast from out there.
Yes.
Be sure to spread the word to them so they can get out there.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Bring out folks like try and get Jillian Sakovitz and try and get Beth Keener and Jill from Soccer in the Streets out there. I think that'd be a really cool night.
Yep.
But
agreed.
Anyway, so if you guys are go to 2 Stripes ATL.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have ticket vouchers to give away, go ahead and transfer them to them. It's a great cause. Get new people into the game and let them see what all fuss is about over at Kennesaw State. So
Tim, just Derek rushing in the trap. Who is holding that again?
2 Stripes ATL.
2 Stripes ATL.
The number 2 here. It's the number 2 Stripes ATL, or 2 Spikes. Sorry, 2 Spikes ATL. Sorry, not 2 Stripes. 2 Spikes ATL Footy Mob. No, I'll retweet that out again later.
Got a lot to talk about tonight. Phone lines are open as they always are.
Phone lines are open. We have a couple voicemails to get through.
678-827-3297.
You got it, man.
Good job,
You're killing it.
It's the only number I have memorized.
Just in case of emergency.
That and 911. Yeah. If I can't get through, I'm just calling the Google voicemail line.
You don't know my phone number?
Nope. Do you know mine?
Yes. I've known your phone number since like 10th grade.
No.
Yeah.
I remember. I thought
I'll say it right now.
I was trying to say, do not do that. I used to remember your old 494 number.
You can call that one all day.
Yeah, out in
You know what
Wedgefield.
I love about being in
because those were all the landline. That was right before cell phones. So I all the numbers I remember are all right around the time of transitioning from landlines to cell phones.
Yeah. I remember being able to determine based off the first 3 digits what carrier you had in Sumter.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually went
That's
to
a really cool talent.
I actually went to an event. I actually went to the World Cup Trophy Tour in 2000. When would that have been? 2014. I think it was the beginning of the year in 2014. And I was working an event with a guy that I've never, like, I had just met. Client gives me his business card, and I see the first 6 digits. I'm like, "Are you from Sumter?" He's like, "Yeah, I went to Sumter High." I was like, "Do you know so and so?" "Yeah, I went to school with them." Like, "Do you know the Dial Brothers?" "Yeah, I know the Dial Brothers."
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, yeah, a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Phone lines are open. What's the number again, Kevin?
678-827-3297.
A lot to get through.
So where do we want to start?
Line
Want
up.
to start
Line up.
So Vancouver, or we doing?
Oh shit, we still do have the Vancouver game to get
Forgot
through.
about that game. What happened that game?
It was the most exciting game we've ever. No, so big takeaways for me from that were just our. All I can really remember is
I really don't even remember that
Wrestle
game.
playing.
Was that the pity goal game?
No, that was Orlando
Vancouver was the PK game?
PK game.
Okay.
PK game, yeah.
There you
That's
go.
right.
It was the Gressel theatrics. Didn't have a good game, but I was watching it on the.
Man, he
ESPN
got punched in the
Plus.
stomach. I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm. You sure did.
he got punched in the stomach.
Thought Germans were tougher than that.
That was a late night game. That's why I can't remember it.
Yeah, it was late night game. Yeah, I still watched it. I was at Disney all last week, but I still managed to watch it. It was a great feat by me. Well done, Dan. Good job.
Yeah, shouts out to Cold Brew for keeping me up for that game. I chugged a good bit before going up. What are you guys looking at?
I remember the biggest standout from that fucking game. Pogba.
Oh, yeah.
In the lineup.
Flowpogs?
Yeah, talking about line. Okay, now it's all coming back to me about the defensive fireworks that took place in that game and how Pogba had a standout performance that game. And then on top of that, I'm trying to think who else really. Justin Miram started that game as well. Talking about lineup,
Yeah, and I
which
thought he
did
looked-
not have a fantastic game. He had a serviceable game.
That's kind of what we expect on our depth.
Right.
So, in talking of that, I mean, serviceable was Miram. Shea wasn't too bad either. And Pogba. Pogba is the one who stood out to me the most.
Shea
Because
had a great game too. Yeah.
He had magnets on his feet for the ball. It was
Yeah.
pretty incredible what he was managing to do. He was just, his positioning was great.
I don't
He was
like
always
what you
cutting
guys are
down
saying.
guys.
Breck Shea having a good game. I mean, Landon Schultz saying Breck Shea had a great game. I don't know. Boo.
So Breck Shea had a decent game, actually. I've been pretty critical of him. I think that he had a decent game. I think he had like 4 chances created, which was tied with Joseph. He still didn't manage to score, though. It's kind of, I mean, I've been texting with people just laying into Breck Shea. He's been serviceable, which I think is what we need right now. He'll still make, I don't know, like a lolloping mistake, kind of like Guzan did this weekend.
Can you point out one of those mistakes that's led to a goal, or
one of Shea's mistakes that has led to a goal? No.
Because I can point out several from key defenders like LGP, or I think Miles Robinson yesterday, right?
Miles Robinson, yeah. LGP, I was thinking about that because he had one against Herediano early in the season where he basically gave it to him. And then he had a second one. And LGP has not been good outside of the 18. He's not been as reliable as.
Was that the game that we had LGP at right center mid too, or right center center back?
Are you talking about the Vancouver game?
Yeah.
No,
that was another game that LGP just looked completely out of place because of being on that right side.
I thought he was okay.
I mean, he was okay, but you
right.
noticed a few moments when he was over on the right touch line where he just seemed out of sorts and had to do a lot of strange body manipulation just to
True,
get
yeah,
into
I mean,
a position to where he felt comfortable with the ball at his feet.
I think that's something you take for granted with center backs is they really are kind of positional. Or if you think about it, they
really are.
work better on one side versus the other because of the way that they're kind of veering out into the field and the way they're getting onto the ball.
Because LGP is trying to push forward a lot more. It's been a little bit to his detriment. It doesn't put him in a successful position when he is trying to track back. But when he has been in our own penalty box, for the most part, he's been nails. He's always the guy getting the blocks in. He's always the guy clearing the ball. He's the guy who is sliding in at the 6-yard box, clearing balls away and making those last-ditch efforts. So he's not had the best season. It hurts me to say that because I love him so much. But
he's kind of a victim of his own success, right?
How so?
I mean, expectations.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be looked at under
Julian Gressel's the same way.
A default microscope, right? Exactly. So
which has been the other big talking point going off in the trap right now. Joe Johnstone, Gressel struggled yesterday. I know we're talking about a Vancouver game, but Gressel's had a rough couple of matches coming from Anthony Neitzel. I think both of these maybe are talked about hand in hand.
Yeah, Gressel didn't have a great game, I didn't think, against Vancouver either.
I think Joe Johnstone's got it right. He says somebody put George Bill in the hyperbolic time chamber. Let him train, let him get healthy again. Get him a sensu bean and get him back in.
That's it.
Gets him.
Really, seriously though, when we're talking about success, disappointment, success, gauging how a player is doing. I mean, it really is all relative right now. We have 2 seasons to go off of LGP. And how much of a standout defender he's been for us. He's been adventurous, and there are times where he's made mistakes in the past, but he's been a stalwart in that defense.
Yeah, he has.
And this year, he's had a couple games, as we've talked about, where he's been kind of less than his average. And is his average still better than most center backs in MLS? Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take him.
Yes.
I mean, I'd take him over anyone in Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looks... That's why, to me, the Breck Shea thing is not... Again, I've been a fan of the guy since he was in the U20s, and I've always been kind of an apologist for him. But I think that the expectations levied on him, his salary, what they're expecting him to come in and do, I think in some games, he's outperformed what we should expect out of him.
Oh, yeah. So Shea's on what, 100,000? He's
something
on a
like
low,
that. He's very low.
I love him for the value.
And that was what we were talking about with McCann. So that's been the biggest comparison so far with Breck Shea, is the comparison between him and Chris McCann. And the biggest talking point in that, aside from the skill and the performance on the pitch, is the price tag. So at a quarter of the price of what Chris McCann would be, I don't think that he's a quarter of the quality of Chris McCann. So I think from that standpoint, it's been a pretty decent investment, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's a savvy pickup. I totally agree with you. I just have...
And it's savvy, and it's proving to be savvy just due to the fact that the reason he was brought in has happened, and George Bello has needed to recover from an injury.
Yeah,
I just wanted to point out, I don't want to stay on it for too long, but just to echo the point Kevin was making in terms of, Brian says Breck is an upgrade on McCann, and at least in the durability department on Greg Garza, as we saw. Hopefully Garza is going to be all right.
2 other points about the Vancouver game. Related to the lineup, we saw Mikey Ambrose in the 18 for that game, if I recall.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he traveled with the team, right?
He traveled with the team. So
Carlton did not show in the 18,
right?
Which was interesting.
So between both Dion Pereira and Mikey Ambrose, we've actually seen DP on the field now multiple times. I'm pretty sure he came on in Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Had a hell of a showing for that game, and obviously we'll talk about the Red Bulls game where he came on as well. But another
very savvy pick.
Great pickup. I love where that trajectory is headed right now.
He's 20 years old. I didn't realize. I knew very little about the guy, to be honest. I didn't realize until watching that he had gotten a cap for the Watford team at 17, 18 years old.
I'd never heard of him.
Where do you draw the line for youth? Is it 20? Is 20 the cutoff before you can call them like a youth player?
No, I mean, Harry Kane just won the Young Player of the Year award, right? The PFA Young Player of the Year award, or he was up for it. Yeah. So it's like the rules are so weird. It's like I
just feel like if there's not a U something league for them, then they're not
23. 23 is the cap when it comes to youth
Really?
youth teams, I think. Yeah, the U23s. I want to say
I just asked that because whenever we talk about Miles Robinson, I think that he falls into that category. And for DP being 20, I just didn't know if that was.
they're both. How old's Miles Robinson? 22.
Miles Robinson's right around the same
21,
age.
22.
Yeah. So I guess it's comparable. They're both quote unquote youth, but they're still in their early 20s. It's not like they're under 20.
Yeah, Miles is 22, and Pereira's 20. That's all I've got.
That's all you got?
No, he's been
I'm glad
great.
you made the trek over here.
So, talking about expectations.
I'm not used to you talking so quickly after we talk.
It's really good. Could you maybe put some put your T-Pain app on whenever you're talking, and I might be able to understand you better.
Can we talk about expectations?
That's not T-Pain as much as it is Dan's going through puberty.
That's right. It's been happening for like 20 years.
God, I hope the teacher doesn't ask me to come up in front of the class.
My favorite thing. It's my favorite.
All right. So talking about expectations, one of our guys won the South American Player of the Year award last year. So the expectations that have been placed on him, I kind of compare it a little bit to external Atlanta United expectations that have been putting on Joseph Martinez because he broke the goal scoring record. I mean, from what I feel like Joseph has reached his peak in goal scoring last year.
He hasn't even begun to peak.
I don't think we'll ever see that amount of scoring from him again. But I think in terms of pity, he is going to have a regression after the expectations that have been on top of him because of last year. And also, I remember like some people after the game saying, next game, we just need to start Pereira instead of Pity because Pity's been looking terrible. I think he's just been tired. I think that he is similar to a conversation that we had about a certain player last year. If you remember that guy, I think he's off playing with the Argentina under-20 team. So I think a lot of people's vitriol that have been placed on him is ill-founded. I
don't think vitriol needs to be placed on him. I think Kevin and I talked about it a little bit yesterday over text. We try and save most of it for this, but like I think it stands out more when he's a player that's having an off night because so much of the offense is driven through him at this point. Mm-hmm. You don't have Barco to help drive that from an attacking midfielder.
The only other player is maybe Nagby.
Right.
Well, and before he got taken out, the play was all channeled through him. And he's not having a great night. It's going to stand out a lot. It's going to stand out a lot more. Obviously, after he comes out of the game or after we have some key personnel changes and we go down a goal, we start just pounding in crosses. So, I mean, it's not really a successful strategy for us. But I think that expectations are probably a little high on him.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think they're like astronomically high just because of even whenever Barco and obviously Dan was talking about Barco. We didn't, say his name. But in the first, half of the season, while he was still underperforming in games or inconsistent is more, I think, a better word for it because he had Miguel Almiron that he can rely on. He still had a couple games where he was great, like the Chicago game. This is only really one that stands. I think there was a Columbus game too that he played well in, but he still performed a little better, even in his down stretches, I think, or his down games.
See what the trap is saying here. Brian, hopefully he'll pay off in a year or two. Maybe I think that was in regards to Carlton. Andy Watkins, I feel like Pity has underestimated the league. He took numerous touches that seem silly. Feels like he thinks the defenders are subpar. Somebody mentioned Joe Johnstone. Pity's still not 100% fitness, even with the rest. Andy Watkins with the old G.I. Joe callback, I'm assuming is what that is, the old lip sync. Pity need food, shoots the food. Don't shoot the food.
Give him the stick.
Don't give him the stick. Oh. Everybody else looks fit enough. Landon Schultz, he is also expecting calls like they get in South America, but don't usually get call here. Also wonder if playing against taller, stronger defenders is affecting him, which has been a point that Frank de Boer has mentioned specifically, that he needs to get his strength up as it relates to challenging some of those defenders one-on-one. And we saw that same thing with Yamil Assad for the bulk of his first year as well.
Yeah, I feel like Assad, we saw it with Barco, we saw it with Almiron.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all kind of getting used to the league. And saw it with Villalba.
And there's a maturation process that needs to take place when you're talking about the calls you're expecting. It's interesting because I think Barco didn't get a lot of those calls last year. Miggy didn't get a lot of the calls in his first year. I think that there is a point where I think PD's trying too hard to get those fouls, or he needs to play through. One of the criticisms that I think everybody had of Barco last year, that he did an absolute, in the words of Jason Kidd, he did a complete 360 from last year, is that he actually tracks back now. One of the criticisms of Barco last year is he would stop if he lost the ball, or if he got bumped off of the ball or something like that. He would either stop and pout, or he'd stop and and he would expect a foul call, and he wouldn't track back, and we would be down a man essentially on that break. And PD's doing the same thing. Barco tracks back like a motherfucker now.
Yeah, he does.
Like, he is so fast, and he doesn't give up on the ball anymore. And I think that's something, it's funny because Barco's 19 years old, and you look at PD's who's 24, 25 years old, and it's like a pretty decent age gap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a lack of maturity there. I feel like
the tracking back, I think, to your point, is so important. And I feel like that's when I totally agree. When you have that maturation as a player, when you're coming back, that's what makes Joseph so valuable.
Joseph has completely changed
tracks
his
back
game
all the time. I mean, he's one of our leading defenders on corner kicks.
He is. He tracks back a ton, and we've seen that even more so this season. And then you talk about playing through fouls. He did that last night and still continues the run of play even after drawing the dog and ends up getting the card after the fact, but still played through it as if he wasn't going to get that call, which was admirable. Last point on Vancouver I have is that win was the one that set a new MLS record for consistent or consecutive shutout wins.
Correct. So, yeah. And I read that statistic wrong. Originally, I thought it was just shutouts.
No, yeah.
In which case, I think it's 7 games from Houston.
Yeah.
Stu Holden was talking about it yesterday. It was his team.
2007?
I think they won back-to-back titles.
Yeah, it's 2007.
Yeah.
Interesting. The other thing about the Vancouver game is Crepio, the Vancouver goalkeeper, who had a stellar night.
Oh, the fucking 3 saves in 3 seconds was ridiculous.
I mean, we really did see, in the course of 4 days, we saw Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde from PD, because he was great in Vancouver.
Yeah,
well, he takes a diving header that we needed him to take last night.
Yeah, and from across from Breck Shea.
Exactly. That's a good point. It's a really good point. Anything else on Vancouver before we move on to Red Bulls?
Can't go without. I watched on ESPN Plus the TSN commentators. They were so angry with all of Atlanta United, particularly Julian Gressel. For some of his antics. They were like, "Oh my gosh, he should get a yellow card and a fine."
It was pretty bad though.
It was terrible. But,
it was pretty bad.
It was really entertaining watching a TV broadcast where the commentators were homers for the team that I was not supporting. It was very. I'd like to be able to have the opportunity to do that more.
I've only ever done that on accident. So MLS, I think, used to have where you can, if you did MLS Plus, you can switch between the broadcasts. You can listen to, you can watch with commentary from your team or the other team. And NBA is the same way. I don't think you can do it now with ESPN Plus.
Have you ever done?
On accident, I did.
The Premier League did like fan commentary. They probably still do it.
Oh, yeah, they would do that for the match of the week. They would do that. I remember. I think that was like when I was in college, or maybe shortly after. They would bring in. It was like a late on a Saturday night. They would bring those guys into the commentary booth, and it would be one pretty much drunk fan from both sides of it, like commentating on the game.
We should totally do that.
That would be really good.
We'd do like a fight companion, but with soccer.
That would be awesome.
Isn't that what the show is?
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you allowed to do that? Can you?
Well, what you could do is just have a stream.
Because that's what Joe does, right?
Hashtag free Jay Riddle.
Isn't
No,
that
but can
isn't that
you
what Joe
have-
does? He says like sync up your broadcast or your DVR, and we're gonna start talking about the game.
Yeah.
We really should do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And the trap, would you guys watch and listen along with us while we commentated an MLS game, an Atlanta United game?
That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah, they're all about it.
Yeah, yeah.
You must all be typing at once, and it's not. It's just like, good job,
It's
Ryan.
just broken. It's broken everything.
Shit, did you post the link on 4chan tonight or no?
Huh?
Did you post
4chan?
Did you post the link on 4chan
Shit,
tonight?
let me open up my Tor.
You don't need Tor to get on 4chan, do you?
No, I
Just
like
8chan.
to.
This is how much of a dad I am. What is Tor and what is 4chan? Are these
Tor-
like your Fortnite streaming?
No, Tor is like what is it? The something onion router network something. It basically
the
gives
Onion?
you it gives you
It's
access
the onion
to
router. Yeah.
It just doesn't just like bounce you around to a bunch of different VPNs so that it's untraceable where you actually are, so that you can access the deep web. Essentially, is what that
The
is.
dark web. Okay.
Yeah, you know where like anglerfish.
Yeah,
You ever seen
exactly.
anglerfish?
Yeah, they got the lantern on it.
Yeah.
Oh, like real anglerfish.
Yeah.
You're not talking about like some tech startup.
No.
You
Okay. The
wait,
ones that live in the ocean.
you don't wait,
in the
but
deep.
no, you guys haven't heard about anglerfish. Seriously, the app. It works with the flashlight on your phone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you haven't heard about this? So you turn the flashlight on your phone, you open the app, you put it up to your forehead, and you just wait in the dark with your mouth open.
Oh God.
It's like
Okay,
they
okay.
partnered with Uber Eats, so you just like this.
Isn't that what you used to do in the bathroom at work?
And then he would send me pictures of it afterwards. Every time.
Oh,
Those were
man.
simpler times.
It was. It was.
The onion router.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh God. What else? What else were we just talking about? I don't remember.
We were
anymore.
talking about the Vancouver
You're
game.
talking about
Vancouver
Fight
game.
Companion.
Fight Companion. Yeah, but that's what they do. They just sync up their broadcast and do it. Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to do that. That'd be awesome. All right. Vancouver game. Any last comments from you, Tim?
No. Oh, Felipe still sucks. No, that's the last thing.
But
I'll
he
say.
was well behaved.
Yeah, surprised. He was still. Oh, no. Who was the other guy? The guy with two letters as his name.
PC.
PC was the complaining
Man.
pants
How would
at
you-
left
I
back.
felt like they were they were really impressed and had a lot of faith in PC. And I just felt bad because he's some Orlando City cast-off who I've never really seen perform very well. I didn't think he performed particularly well in the game. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of sad. Guess that's my Atlanta United hubris. Henry, he had a
You say-
pretty good game at centre back.
They gave up Breck Shea for this. Really?
Do you think he was playing with a chip on his shoulder? Do you think that's what led to his standout game in Vancouver?
He was-
Maybe they were booing him too, right?
But he was so stoned he didn't notice.
Dude, he had like 100% tackle, or like I think he had 3 or 4 tackles that game. I think it was 100% pass completion or something like that. He had a great standout game.
Yeah, he had 84% pass completion. He won 3 aerials, had a tackle.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah,
All right,
he
Red
was the
Bulls.
highest rated player.
Red Bulls yesterday.
Speaking of Orlando castoffs, Amro Tarek
Wow.
completely stifled our offense yesterday.
Yeah, he had one. I think it
Even
was,
in the absence of Tim Parker, who's considered one of the best center backs in MLS, gets sent off, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Amro Tarek stopped Joseph on his first breakaway. Had a couple other pokes that really stopped us. I mean, he essentially was the reason we didn't end up with a W. Well, I mean, aside from the way we were playing.
yeah, him and Sean Davis really.
Sean Davis, their left back or
No, there's central.
defensive mid.
He was playing on the left. But so So can I just go through a couple of stats from Red Bulls? So
oh yeah, go ahead.
That's what the people come for Dan. Yeah.
that's right. Well, so interceptions.
I'm gonna mute I'll mute our lines. Just go ahead.
Thank God. All right. So
It's the moment he's always
finally, I can have some peace and quiet. So obviously Red Bull's game is a disruptor, and they are more looking to take the ball away from you than do something with the ball. For the stats for interceptions, Red Bull had 12 interceptions to Atlanta United's 5. They had 33 tackles to our 20. Of 22 of theirs were successful, 16 of ours were successful. They had 20 blocks to our 9 and 36 clearances to our 4. So hugely weighted over on Red Bulls. Obviously, that's the game. But Amro Tarek, he had 3 interceptions, 4 tackles, he had a block, and then he had 8 clearances. So the guy was nails. Sean Davis had similar numbers, but he got more blocks because of the position he plays in the field. So there you go. He had a great game. And really fucking kicked the shit out of us, which was pretty irritating, especially as he used to play for Orlando. Wish we had have picked him up. You want me to just keep going? I mean, I can.
Oh, I can. Don't worry. I can.
People are calling for short corner to come back, Dan.
Yeah,
When can they expect that?
Where you're just laying there with the phone on your chest, flipping through your papers.
Just
hear your papers rustling.
Interceptions. Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
No, it's great.
So can I talk how Brad Guzan, he is a great keeper. I don't want to get rid of him, but sometimes he looks really fucking stupid. Like,
whenever he missed that one shot. What was that? A Dallas game where his soul left his body? As Jay Riddle put his.
So interestingly enough, the guy from Philadelphia who scored that goal, who took his soul away, that was his first career MLS goal.
Same thing last night.
Same thing last night with what's his name?
Good thing it was like
Barlow.
a 5 o'clock game because Barlow could get home for dinner and
he could get home before dark.
You can get home before dark. Yeah.
So, I mean, against DC, the ball taking a bounce and just bouncing over him. And then,
Look, I'm okay.
The goal against us in the Rebels game, they gave...
That was a fucking beautiful goal, though.
So, Royer had all the time and space in the world for him to make a beautiful Julian Gressel 2018 type cross. Shea and Nagby were nowhere to be found. Nagby was jogging over to try and close a bit of space, but he's still like 10 yards in front, a roll away around it before he took the ball. And then I'm not sure whether Barlow actually placed that or the ball just hit him in the face.
That's true.
We'll never know. Of course, Barlow's not going to say that. I guess we'll see how Barlow goes.
Actually, whenever I saw it in real time, I thought it went off his chest. I thought it was just seriously, I thought it hit him like right there and bounced into the goal because it was such an awkward bounce.
Was very awkward.
There's no other reason I could think that Brad Guzan would be so out of position on that, other than that it was some sort of weird reaction from the ball. I don't.
It just doesn't. It's just a funny thing with Brad Guzan, and I feel like it's happened throughout his career where when he's completely out of position, he realizes he's not going to make the save. Yeah, he just kind of seems very indecisive and is not even willing to really make a play on the ball and just sort of.
Well, isn't that kind of the theme of all of last night's game? Just look really indecisive and not make much of a play on the ball, it seemed like, for all of the offense, considering you were a man up for over half the game. It was just...
That's a very good point, Kevin.
It just...
Yeah.
I texted him and I said, if I saw the result without any of the context, I'd say, okay, I'm okay with it. The fact that, I mean...
Well,
I'm not gonna make it. I'm trying not to make a lot of excuses here about the fact that we've had 5 games in 15 days. It was on the road and hostile environment, yada, yada, yada. The fact of the matter is you're up a man with over half of the game to play, and you do not seem to be much of a viable threat on offense throughout most of that game, aside from a couple of opportunities, 2 of which are in the back of the net 98 out of 100 times. What the fuck Pity Martinez thought he was going to do by trying to play on his left from his left foot with a ball across coming in from the left side and he's on back post, I will never understand. Joseph Martinez in a one-on-one situation that he slots home 9 times out of 10 that doesn't go in.
Yeah.
Takes an
It's
extra.
because of Amro Tarek.
Yeah, exactly. Just we get the red card. I mean, it's disappointing. That said, we're in fourth place. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but we still got a game in hand. We can potentially take third. I think this team is okay. There's a series of unfortunate events. Lemony Snicket up in there. But
I'm sorry, I don't speak monkey.
Okay, I don't know it. All right, I've never seen that movie. Never read the books.
Never mind.
uh,
So, to your point, Kevin, it was that game hurt to lose.
It
After
did.
watching that one hurt.
I think that one
And
might hurt me the most out of the games that we've lost so far
I
this
think-
season.
Kamar Lawrence really pissed me off. I mean, if he had been in a Atlanta United uniform, I would be loving it.
Yeah.
But his he was causing a bunch of antics. When there was a cross coming back in the box, Vialba went to volley it, but he caught Lawrence got to it first, so his ankle hit his foot, and then Tito goes down screaming in pain. Beautiful shorts on Tito's, by the way. Look at them thighs.
What shorts?
Tito's short. Well, the little hot pants. He just tucks.
He
does what I do when I coach my kids' games. I just tuck my short legs.
I'm not convinced he doesn't just have a tailor in the locker room just stitching his inseam in higher and higher.
You know Aladdin pants. Tito, where you wear shorts? No, yes. Do them for shorts.
So I mean, and then after that particular challenge, I think Tito was milking it, but then Lawrence walks away, is totally fine, and then all of a sudden he's down on the floor clutching his back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's superb acting. And then of course he's just on Tito for the rest of that game, and then towards the end where he's calling him a baby for falling down. I mean, love the retort by Tito holding up the cup, though. Yeah, I did that.
Pretty great.
But you could tell. I mean, he was they had got to him. I'm glad the game had ended at that point because he was done. He wasn't going to make anything successful with the rest of the game, and probably would have got red carded.
Who the fuck was it? It was one of the Parceros that posted the Kamar Lawrence holding the amount of cups that he's won.
Yeah. Shouts out to Ronald Pena.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so great.
No, you say that you would have loved Kamar, if he was on Atlanta United. I feel like if I saw one of our players start that, I feel like I would have been disappointed, to be honest.
Well, we've seen Joseph start it.
Not to that effect.
Maybe not to that extent where he's
I've never seen
barking at somebody.
And while they're on the ground.
We haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And
that usually he didn't get carded for that, did he?
No.
Usually that will draw a yellow, right? If you're going to taunt a player like that while they're on the ground. In any sport,
we've seen that game. Yellow card.
Basketball, you get a technical, and in football, you get a flag thrown. It's unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
But I do love that Tito did not just take that shit.
I hope it plays into his next performance, especially if he gets a chance to play against Red Bulls again.
July 7th?
Yeah.
7-7. Bought my tickets for the game, taking the whole family.
Oh, very cool. It'll be great. Meet and greet. Arby's has a new font out, so I have to get to work on the invite, and I found out there's an Arby's in the CNN Center within walking distance of Mercedes-Benz, so we'll have to get a Home Before Dark meet and greet set
I'm just
up.
waiting for Arby's to go bankrupt. I'm sorry.
When will they go bankrupt?
I don't know.
They have H. John Benjamin doing their commercials.
We're going to do a 24-hour Home Before Dark broadcast, and we're going to do it like a relay.
Is that really how you're going to announce?
What?
You're just going to casually bring that up?
I'm starting to just slowly I want to plant the seeds, Tim.
We didn't even talk about how we're going to do
I want to plant the seeds. But we're going to do like a what's the runner for the cure, run for the cure, Michael Scott thing where you got to pledge a certain amount of dollars for every beef and cheddar that you think that we'll eat in a 24-hour span.
Somebody get my rheumatologist on call that day. It's
and we'll all meet up in the bathrooms at Mercedes-Benz. We'll march to the bathrooms. That'll be the Home Before Dark march from Arby's to the bathroom at Mercedes-Benz.
Can I know it's probably slightly larger sandwich. Could I substitute instead of doing a beef and cheddar? Can I do Big Montana instead?
Yeah.
Or a French dip?
I'll allow it.
Because I'll do all you can eat French dips.
Will you though?
Yes.
Or just what about all you can eat just cheddars? You just no beef, just all that cheddar sauce on the bun. Just cheddar.
That's what my brother used to eat chili cheese buns instead of chili cheese hot dog, like chili cheese dogs. He would take the hot dog out and just eat chili cheese.
I want him to hollow
that's
out.
horrible.
I want him to hollow out the top and bottom of the Arby's buns like they do for the Philly cheesesteaks, and just fill it up with that cheese sauce, like an Arby's empanada, a cheese empanada.
I want a grilled stuffed burrito filled with beef and cheddar.
I just want to go-gurt it. I just want to go-gurt that grilled stuffed burrito.
Kendrick has the right idea. We're gonna have a cheddar chug off.
Or what about like a cheddar? Or we just fill up a kiddie pool with it and just have a wrestling match.
Brittany S. reading my mind. That's nasty.
Oh God. Tony Neitzel saying, I'm over here waiting for a Funyuns Taco Bell fusion. You have never lied in your life, Tony.
That's
I want to
cool.
give me a Funyuns
yeah.
Locos taco.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. That sounds so good.
It would be good.
All right, lineup for Red Bulls game.
Oh God.
Is Michael
no
Parker?
difference,
Is Michael
right?
Parkhurst?
Michael
at left back?
Parkhurst came in at left back.
Is Michael Parkhurst at left back causing more harm than good?
So
it's
he's
dependent on the team, right?
Yeah, I mean he played well. I forget.
He had a pretty nice back heel yesterday.
He did have a nice
Yeah.
back heel.
Didn't he start at left back against Orlando?
He did.
Played great that game at left back.
Yeah, I think he's had one or two where he's played pretty well. It wasn't.
Wait,
his
no.
best
He
night.
didn't start against Orlando, right? He came in at the no. You're right. He did start. My bad. Brett came in for Tito or for somebody on the left side.
Yeah,
he played wing.
So Michael Parkhurst starts last night at left back position.
Yes, Eric Remedi was on the bench in lieu of Jeff Lorenwitz.
Yep. And then we had
Who Jeff I thought had a good game.
Tito and Gressel on wings. And everything else remained the same, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
it did.
Yeah.
I think
Pogba, I guess, moves back to
because Miles Robinson played.
Miles Robinson. Yeah.
Right. So I feel like it was pretty a relatively expected lineup. I don't think there were any real surprises.
Yeah.
I think the only kind of quote unquote surprise that was for me was Parker starting, but that wasn't that big of a one.
Andy had a good point. That shot had potential.
Oh, if he hadn't hit it with a curl on the ball, it would have been lower right hand
corner. He had a good look at it.
Parkhurst?
Yeah. It was a little slow. Like, you compare it to Tito's lasers that he puts in.
Yeah.
And Parkhurst I wonder if he actually kicked the ball incorrectly that put the curve on it.
He was trying to
curved it into Robles rather than just hitting it straight in the corner.
He's trying to clear it from the opponent's 18.
Right. That was a decent shot.
I like the shot from Elliot Beaven. He said Pogba should have started and give LGP a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how Pogba goes, how he does going forward. I mean, anyone can have one great game.
Here we go.
Do you mean going forward in attack?
No. In the future games.
I was going to say, usually you don't need but one of those guys to try and venture forward.
Start him in front instead of Joseph.
Ooh, I like it.
At me.
I don't want to see Pogba play like LGP. I don't want to see Miles Robinson play like LGP.
No.
Right. I don't think we want a lot of people playing like LGP.
No, you usually don't want your center back playing like that unless you really trust them in possession.
Mm-hmm. That's
and that's like 5 guys in the world, right? At that level.
Yeah, you wonder if LGP is how he is fitting to this system, because it's a little bit more of a cautious system, and he is more of a reckless player.
And it starts with defense too.
It does start with defense.
It starts from the back.
So, to be fair to LGP, he had he is, I think, the best player at vertical diagonal balls. He will switch it and he'll put it on a dime.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of value. I like his aggression in places, but it's when he makes those stupid mistakes are the ones that really stand out to everybody, and everybody in the fan base gets irritated with him.
What do you think about Derek Rushing? His comment here said, I'd be curious to see a backfield of Escobar, Robinson, Pogba, and LGP. So LGP on playing left back. I mean, Escobar is essentially a converted center back into right back, and
I could definitely see that, and I think that we could potentially see that. I don't think that he's going to oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't think he's going to provide the same sort of service as Shea would in terms of crossing the ball into space. But I think that we would
take over, Dan.
but definitely we could see that lineup. Yeah, it really hurts.
It real hurts.
I think I'm going to have to leave.
He had a pretty nice. Nah, he not really. I was going to say he had a nice shot yesterday, Shea, but
I think
my depth perception fooled me.
Because LGP's just had a kid towards the end of last season, so now the sleep deprivation could really be hitting him. So, and that's could explain some like bonehead mistakes that he's been making. Dan,
are you trying to say something about your personal life right now?
No, just anyone who's like dealt with a newborn child who's...
What kind of bonehead mistakes are you talking about, Dan?
Well, like Herediano and...
emptying the checkbook for those Atlanta United scratchers.
Yeah.
I've played like 10 of those. I haven't won a damn thing.
You fool.
All right. Andy Watkins said LGP gonna LGP, yo.
Andy Watkins also said, want to tell Dan how wrong he is with his Breck Shea love. Call in 678-827.
Should we go ahead and get to some of those voicemails? Because I'm sure that'll prompt some of the closing discussions on the Red Bull game.
Really hoping we start getting...
LGP needs to put Wafu on baby duty and get some rest. Derek Rushing. Who's Waf? Oh, wife. Yeah.
What does waifu mean?
It's just slang. Everybody knew what he was talking about.
Oh, wife. No, yeah.
My wife.
I think that would be an interesting conversation for him to have with his wife, and I'd like him to Instagram story it.
All right, we're gonna. I didn't test this earlier, but just I don't know what the volume's gonna be like.
Long-time listener, first-time caller here. I just want to give a big old fuck you to Christian Mills. That's a bit of payback, and then we lost a 55-minute game playing against 10 men. I'm still on the fire Frank DeBoer train, and everyone should join me.
Wait, what?
Hold on. Let me try that again. It's kind of hard to... Here we go.
Long-time listener, first-time caller here.
Oh.
Damn it.
God.
Sorry. It's like the connector on there, yeah. faulty board. Yeah.
Somebody talking shit about Mills. I heard that.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. You guys talk. I feel like this happens every damn week now.
I'm trying to find the information from Landon Schultz. Who has the most cards on the team this year? Probably LGP.
I would be
and
willing
that's the
to
great
bet
thing about LGP is because...
I'm listener, first-time caller here. I just want to give a big old fuck you to Christian Mills. That's a bit of payback. And then we lost a 55-minute game playing against 10 men. I'm still on the fire Frank DeBoer train, and everyone should join me.
All right. DeBoer out and back. One loss.
So when I went to the...
And that voicemail was courtesy of the Facebook group.
Oh,
that was the Facebook group.
I went to the... who was the last game we played at home?
Last game we played at home? Orlando.
Okay,
Yeah.
the one before that.
that was the Wednesday
before
night
Orlando
game.
was Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah. So I went to the Toronto game and actually bumped into Nathan Lyons.
Nice.
Oh,
and
nice.
At the end of the game, because, we beat Toronto, I went down to him and in the best British sarcasm voice was like, see you, Nathan, great to see you. Fire FDB, because that was kind of everyone was talking about. And I don't think he understood what I meant. So he was like, yeah, okay. That was funny.
I had one of those engagements with somebody that saw, and I really need to extend an apology for how awkward the exchange was. It was whenever I had the scarves and we were giving them out and somebody saw me and I don't know who it was. And they're like, oh, you got one of the scarves. And I was like, yeah, do the show. And just walked away. And I was like, that was not the right words to use in that situation. I was just kind of like half in passing and didn't get to have a conversation.
Well, you
with
know,
him.
there's stories about people who meet their heroes and then they're disappointed by them.
I think that it will haunt me for the rest of my life.
All right. So, in answer to Landon Schultz's question, there's 3-way tie for yellow card accumulation. Each of them have 3. Kevin, you've been looking at this. Tim, tell me those top 3.
I was not looking at it.
Escobar, Larry, and LGP.
Oh, you've been looking at it.
I got him.
Yep. That's right.
Hold on.
I was reading the chat. All right, we got one more voicemail.
Oh,
Good evening, gentlemen. So I guess we're at 86 points or bust. A little bit of a random question tonight. I was trying to see, who do you think would be your all-time greatest player from any team, any country? Being a keeper myself, mine would be Oliver Kahn. But that's because I'm crazy like that. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye.
It's an easy question.
Messi.
No, Stevie Gerrard.
don't let it slip, lads.
Oh my God. I brought it on myself saying that. No, yeah, I mean, Messi to me is the greatest player I've ever seen play.
Agreed.
The amount of influence that he puts on the field, the things that he's able to do, the amount of, like, Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't make the players around him that much better. He takes the game, puts it on his back, and wins it for his team.
Yeah.
Messi helps his teammates elevate their game to the point that they're just destroying people together. I don't know. It's just completely different game.
Yeah, I mean, did Brian say Demba Ba? Wow. So yeah, I guess Messi, obviously.
You know the reason he's saying Demba Ba? Because he scored that fucking goal when Steven Gerrard slipped. you can make that joke, but you're just regurgitating shit, Dan.
I was like, Demba Ba, I know he played for Newcastle once.
And he's just like Garrison Hurst. He has toothpaste for knee cartilage. Like, the amount of injuries that guy's had is ridiculous.
By destroying people, you mean losing in by 4 in Champions League?
Oh God.
So I mean,
Yes.
Tim, I'm pulling for you guys against Tottenham.
How can you not?
Right.
Right.
Wait,
I mean,
wait. I had that scheduled for the end of the show.
All
We'll
right,
talk
all
about that
right,
at the
all
end.
right.
We'll talk about that at the end.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Pirlo. I love Pirlo.
When he's not farting.
Right. Well,
or chewing his damn paws.
well, of course the dog, but also the
Dogba?
Italian and
Dogba's really good.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I'm going to name
Yeah.
my next dog.
Yeah.
But I mean, Paul Scholes. He's an excellent player.
Didier Dogba.
That's a good one, Kevin.
Mauricio Pochettino.
Right.
I like it.
Um,
Any more voicemails?
No, it was just,
Just the 2?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, so who's your greatest of all time?
I'd probably say Pirlo.
Yeah.
Just because you guys have said Messi.
Okay.
And, you know, who am I either going to go for? It's either Messi or
Kenny
Cristiano
Dalglish?
Ronaldo. Ian Rush was way better than Kenny Dalglish. Ian Rush said I could play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley, who are they? Exactly.
I really like all these references.
I just like when Dan tries to do a Scouse accent.
Tries. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts or remarks on the Red Bull game? I think we're all disappointed. Obviously, there was some good play. Pity did not have a great game. Gressel did not have a great game.
Dion Pereira played great.
Dion Pereira did have a great showing.
So, yeah. Hey, did you ever see on Twitter the video breakdown of Wayne Rooney breaking down his free kick? I think it was against Columbus. And he just talks about how the attackers are lining up in the wall towards the goalkeeper, specifically to block his view. And then he was saying because the free kick was so close in, he had to get it up and over the wall, but just enough so that the keeper still can't see it going in. And then he actually has the attackers duck down to allow the ball to be lower so it can go, because it has to go in I think it was the bottom right-hand corner. If it goes midway, then the keeper can easily save it by stretching out hand. But if it's low enough, the keeper's got no chance. And it's really interesting how he talks about and breaks it all down. But when Paul Parker got sent
Yeah.
off. We were trying the same thing. It was similar location, but you could see that after Pity took the free kick, Tito is like diving down. Unfortunately, I think it was Murillo's head got in the way, and I think we gave him a concussion. But it was just a really interesting kind of nerdy thing that.
Yeah. I saw them try that against Vancouver as well, I believe, where Gressel was right on the outside of the wall.
Mhm.
Walked right over in front of the wall right whenever Pity took the shot and like blocked the wall's view of where the ball was coming, and then he just kind of ducked down last second, got blasted with it.
Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So speaking of free kicks, how interesting was the Vancouver free kick? Well, one of them they had in front of our area where they had like 4 or 5 guys about 7 yards offside.
Yeah.
And then it comes to nothing and they ended just passing it back.
Yeah, it was so weird.
It was just garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Red card, not red card.
Red card.
Yeah.
By the book.
Red card. Initially, I thought it was kind of harsh, but when you go back and see it, and it automatically went back to the game when we were playing Red Bulls at the stadium, when they beat us 3-1. And Mark Geiger was the VAR, and Joseph was on a breakaway. I think it was against Parker as well. And Joseph goes around the back of Parker, but accidentally like clipped his heels. And say accidentally because it was. You could not tell any sort of intent there. And he was denied it. So I was like, yeah, you can have a red card for that.
Yeah, I mean, soft, absolutely. But by the book, red card.
Well, it's only soft because he didn't go down.
Exactly.
Right. If he was any other player, he probably would have been on the floor not trying to score. He would have hit the mat. That's the other reason I'd say Messi. Messi plays through contact, and I love that about him.
I think Joseph played as much as he could through that contact.
I'm saying the majority of players, like if that was Petey, he would have hit the deck.
Yeah.
And then he probably wouldn't have got it based off of reputation alone, I think, at this point. So,
however, Joseph needed to put that chance away. Not that specific one, but the one, the breakaway.
The breakaway, absolutely.
Amro Tarek defended.
So, another takeaway from that game. I know we talk a lot about how impossible it is to bench Julian Gressel, but do you potentially give him a rest on Friday, put Tito on the right side, put Dion Pereira on the left?
Or Miram even. But yes.
Yeah, I do. I think Tito
I really like what I've seen from Justin Miram. I want to see him in the game more.
Yeah.
I think he could have helped break that team down yesterday.
I don't know, because he's so much of a possession player, and that's pretty much all we were doing anyway. I don't know that he was going to give you anything in attack.
Yeah, potentially. In possession and everything, I'm really glad we have Nagby.
Yeah.
I feel like Nagby is severely underrated every single game.
Oh, absolutely.
I hope that we can find a way to keep him in the off season.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm hoping all that stuff is just smoke.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I hope so too.
That's the thing, is we're not going to pay him DP money. There's no way that happens.
He's
got to be a 10. Well, he's already a 10 player.
Is Columbus going to pay him DP money? Is anybody going to pay him DP money at this point?
What'll be interesting, you could see someone pay him DP money. Like Cincinnati or.
What's going to be interesting to see next year with the 4th DP slot, how many of these players are going to transition into...
Wait, what?
Have they confirmed the 4th DP slot yet?
Trap did, so I'm just taking that as law. That was a couple weeks ago that we were talking about.
For people listening on the podcast audio, we're looking at the Trap right now. By destroying people, do you mean... Oh, no, that's the same Liverpool comment. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah, I think you rest Gressel. Yes.
Yeah, I would put him down. Yeah. But I would definitely play Tito, though. I think we use the fire that he had from this last game against Red Bulls.
I think Tito's
put him back on.
He's been a bright spark the past few games.
He's great.
Yeah.
It makes me hearken back to the offside trap you guys did with the Toronto people. And you're like, oh, it's just little old Tito Villalba who scored a goal against them. But yeah, I forget that he is a lot more technical and a little bit more finesse than
I give him credit for.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm going to pick on Eric Quintana right now for the first year of our existence and Tito's play on this. He talked about how he runs on train tracks. Yeah, I think he's a little more refined a player than that.
Just like we're seeing out of Martinez right now. Joseph.
Yes.
I think that I would not be surprised with the way that he is playing, that he has shown both sides of incredible goal scoring threat and also integral link up player on both sides of the pitch. To see offers come in for Martinez off season.
You think he's going to go if they come in?
Right number.
Off season or July?
Probably. Well, it probably would be July.
Yeah.
You think
The
so?
International transfer window opens.
You think
and
he
it's
goes in July if he's not having a great performance up until then?
What will typically happen, I think, with these MLS transfers is he will be bought in July and he will be loaned back to Atlanta United for the rest of the season, and then they will get him in January, whatever it is.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at this point, but RSL on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Forget about that. Win for me.
You say win for me?
Yeah.
Call it a win. What are we talking about? Are we just doing predictions? We're going to get into some stuff?
We're already over time, so.
Oh, okay.
We never get to see Dan anymore, though.
I'm over it.
RSL are a playoff team, albeit 5-6-1. So they, granted, have only only drawn one game. They've lost 6.
Dan's got words, I'm sure. Here, go ahead, Dan. Tell us what we want to hear. What are they going to do? Break it down.
All right. Their style is long balls, long shots. They take a lot of shots and they're aggressive. So we saw against the Red Bulls were aggressive and were able to throw at least PT off his game by hip checking him. A consistent first 11. They like playing in their own half. I'm just reading basically what's on whoscored.com.
Albert Rusnak is a motherfucker to defend.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have Eric Rometti back in the lineup to help erase him.
Yeah. Krylock.
Damn, that sounds like a fucking
That sounds like a slur.
baller villain name.
Krylock.
Or a slur.
Or a transformer.
Or a Mortal Kombat character.
Ooh.
Krylock.
Yeah. He's like, he's got to have some sort of, he's almost like a Sub-Zero, like an anti-Sub-Zero character.
Yeah. I think that if you give Salt Lake space, they will hurt you. But I think we have a defense that is savvy enough to break down that space, unless it's Daniel Royer and we'll just give him, half the field.
I meant to say this about Daniel Royer. It's if anybody it's going to come from, I'm okay with it being him because of how shit he's been against us historically.
Mm-hmm. He's bloody good for them though.
He is, right, he is, but like he always ends up missing easy goals against us and chances. Yeah, it was fitting that he finally broke that.
So we're terrible at set pieces, and Salt Lake are not very good at defending against set pieces. So that might be a plus, and they're not good at avoiding offside. And I think we have a great defense that can play an offside trap pretty good.
You know who else can play a good offside trap?
Not us lately.
Not us lately, though.
It's been tough, guys. No offside trap tonight. It's been tough getting these things wrangled up with people.
Yeah, it takes a lot of planning, and unfortunately, life has just been kind of hectic lately. So we'll get back on it soon. And what we may end up doing is going back and trying to backlog a couple of those. So we'll see what we can wrangle up. Any other thoughts on RSL, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I'm just trying to pull something together right now.
I can tell.
Yeah.
How long until we get Barco back? It's the end of June, right?
Yeah.
If they make it far enough, I guess, if they make it to the end of the tournament.
I think that I hope they don't. The tournament hasn't even started yet. They've been playing a whole bunch of like warm-up games, which is like, what the fuck? Warm-up games? Come on.
Yeah.
That's super frustrating.
You can't fault the player. I mean, you have to fault the organization for bringing it up.
Absolutely. You cannot. It's just frustrating from a fan's perspective, of especially someone who has consistently not cheered for an Argentina team. So it's kind of weird for me as an Englishman cheering Argentinian players and being interested in them.
Still hope they lose so he can get back sooner.
Oh, damn right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope they
when
tank.
the Argentinian national team play, I always want them to lose. Same with Germany. I always want them to lose.
As Andy Watkins says, don't fault the player, fault Frank de Boer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one thing that was
FDB out.
annoying about Frank de Boer was saying that, wants to rein in crosses at halftime on Red Bulls. And I was like, that's never been our strong suit.
No, it really hasn't.
Why do you want to do that? But he did say in the previous game, and I think it was against, I think it was either Orlando or could have been Toronto. He was saying that if we are not sharp and accurate with our passes, like we were not against Red Bulls, we were sloppy, then he is certain that we're going to get hurt. And I mean, that's exactly what happened again, and played perfectly into Red Bull's hands.
Agreed.
So I thought that was the first one was a weird comment, but I think his concern was valid.
Do we expect any major changes to the lineup aside from maybe seeing a Gressel rest and a DP or
you might
Justin
see?
Miram? I think Breck Shea starts at left back.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think you'll see him for Parkhurst.
Yeah.
So this game is happening.
It's Friday, 9:00 Eastern.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. We already talked about it.
Awesome. Happening Friday. So I was just trying to think, would LGP? So do you think Shea starts instead of Parkhurst?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And do you think if we have enough rest for LGP? Like, I'm assuming it's the back four is going to be Shea, LGP, Miles, and Escobar.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Pogba and Breck Shea again. I thought it worked out really great against Vancouver.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think the thing is, though, I think RSL are a better team than Vancouver. I do not think Vancouver are very good.
Okay.
This is the second time we'll be at Rio Tinto, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who was the last guy who scored for us at Rio Tinto?
That was the
I think
Peterson goal at the buzzer that you were talking about the other week.
No, I think
that's against SKC.
I think he got a red card immediately afterwards because
it was
his
Brandon
personality.
Vasquez for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, yeah. So we beat them. So it's difficult to play at Rio Tinto, but I mean, we beat them 3-1 last time. But they're a different team now. They're a lot more mature. I think it's going to be a pretty tough test.
Kevin, do you have any parting words for Kyle Beckerman?
Oh, fucking suck my butt, Kyle Beckerman. Eat my butthole, Kyle Beckerman.
Okay.
Lick my butt.
You're not supposed to mix cough medicine with liquor. I just noticed that you were doing that.
I had like half a pour. Give me a break.
And Theraflu.
What, dude? Let me live my life.
Half a pour of cough medicine.
No, it was a Theraflu. It wasn't like I'm over here making scissor on the podcast, drinking NyQuil and codeine and bourbon or something.
What if we just drank lean?
Let's do it.
All episode.
Yeah. Let's put on Macklemore. Let's just chill. All right. Closing ceremonies. Tim, thoughts on Champions League final and go.
Oh, that was weird. I think you muted yourself before you press the buttons. Really hoping Roberto Firmino's back. Everybody is looking like they're vacationing right now, which is kind of troublesome to me because we have a game in 11, 12 days that is the biggest game Liverpool have played in a year because it's their second time in the Champions League final in 2 years. I think that this will be the third time we've played Tottenham this year, and I expect to win. I expect nothing less than a win. If nothing else, some of those guys getting rest is going to be helpful coming back. I am also very excited that apparently we're just in a bidding war for Matthias de Ligt for a center back partnership with Van Dijk. So Kevin will become a Liverpool full-time supporter with Van Dijk, de Ligt, Wijnaldum. Yep.
I like it. I think that's it for me. Oh, score predictions for Friday. What are you guys thinking?
2-0. I think we win that game 2-0.
I hate you so much. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Oh, I will say a 2-1 win.
Play me the 2-2. Give me the 2-2. Destroy them.
Right.
We come out and
Brittany has no ASMR.
What is that?
That's the audio.
I know, Brittany.
Sound,
I know. I totally
whatever
agree with you.
that people get really into with like weird noises, like
Mouth noises and breathing. Yeah, that like whispering and that stupid like cocksucking noise you make is like,
"Welcome to Home Before Dark."
Yeah. I think we're going to play an attacking game on Friday. Ooh. Fuck, Dan, come on.
you guys deserve it. You guys deserve it.
I was like one of those. So he's gonna listen to that in their car. Just fucking-
Steer.
It
Dan
works.
just got-
That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get. Sorry, everyone, but they deserve it.
It's like, oh my god.
I'm going to
All
put
right.
Dan in timeout.
Episode 100
In the books.
We did it. Good job, guys.
What are we going to do as a special
I don't know. Are we going to do
celebration?
it?
I think we're going to try to do it. There is no try. There's only do. And
And Kyle
Arby
Beckerman.
beef and cheddars.
Yeah.
Do they have an Arby's in Rio Tinto? I think we need to make a road trip.
So we don't know when we're going to do it, but the plan that is currently circulating is to do a 24-hour podcast.
We still need to look in to see if YouTube's what the length of broadcast they is that supports. What do they support?
The thought would be that this would be a traveling circus of sorts, that over the span of 24 hours, we would go around town. We'd be able to Uber, talk in the Uber, maybe go out to the Gulch, just have like sort of a roaming meet and
It's
greet
not even going to
of
be on a
sorts.
game day. We're just going to go out to the Gulch.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
talk to the people that are parking out there on a normal day.
There's a lot of details.
Just run up into people's faces with a microphone.
I get fucking mugged.
Yes.
A lot of details we got to fill in and figure out a date and everything. But right now, it's a lofty goal, but it's a lofty podcast.
Andy says YouTube limits to 8 hours. They used to have this. Well, you can upload 24 hours.
Well,
I
why
think,
don't you
right?
just start a new one every 8 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Andy. It's not hard.
So yeah, trying to figure out something.
Oh, and the H4D black light special.
Well, do not want to put a black light on in this studio. That's for sure.
I think we're still in the Nancy Grace period where I can blame it on the previous owners of this house.
Hey, there you go. So yeah, keep an eye and ear out for that. Hopefully, we get something pulled together in the next couple of months. Scarves should be delivered. If you haven't,
I think
gotten
everybody's
yours.
scarves are delivered. Yeah.
Yeah, or Twitch stream. Landon mentioned. So
Oh, yeah.
figure something out, which could be a fun part of that. You know, maybe we do
FIFA?
it for, yeah, we can do FIFA or RetroPie or whatever. Do Twitch. We can do, maybe that's how we do the live commentary. Maybe it's for an away game.
We're going to
you
spend
know?
24 hours trying to beat Contra 3 Alien Wars
Mhm.
on Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
And we're still not going to do it.
Nope. So we'll do something. Thank you guys for tuning in. Episode 100. Thank you guys for hanging out. and
Thank you
doing
for coming
this.
over, Dan.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome, guys. I mean, it's the 100th episode. How could I have missed it?
And we'll see you on episode 200, I'm sure. That'll be the next time you're in studio, which will be great.
Sweet.
However you found us, smash the like, subscribe, bell Holcomb icon to get that notification whenever we go live. Be sure to leave a rating or review on iTunes here at Read Aloud on the show. Follow us all collectively on Twitter at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. Also on Instagram, same handle. That's it, right?
Yeah.
As
Sweet.
always, be home before dark.
They're just real shitty, briny pickle juice.
What does that even mean?